chasing, leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
G'day everybody. Ooh, not a good start. G'day everyone. Seano here. Thought we'd do a bit of a live stream. It is Thursday morning. So yeah, thought we'd see if there's anybody on. Anyone wants to have a chat about their teams. Anyone could help me with my trades. That'd be really helpful. I think the question of the day is butter or no butter. Let's say if you have peanut butter on toast, do you have butter or do you have no butter? Now I have to admit I usually like butter when I have my peanut butter, but that doesn't mean I particularly need butters in my team. And as you can see, these are trades that I'm thinking about that I'm not set on. And considering Mr. Marshall here plays this evening, I need to make up my mind pretty much before the end of today or before that game. So before we get a few people here and we see if they want to have a look at their teams and, you know, do the business, let's have a bit of a talk about what I'm going to do. That means you guys, we can start chatting about you, get over me, get over myself, and then we can chat to you guys about what you're doing with your team. But for me, if we go back to the actual team, if we do this, I mean, I think we need to get rid of Green. It's a failed pick. It's cost us 2 trades. It's pretty much hurt us. But he's got a massive break even, and he's only going to get 100 every couple of weeks or whatever. So if he does that, so I think it's time to get off him and get somebody else. Lindsay and Marshall is a way for me to get butters. Otherwise, I can't get butters. If I drop Marshall from the flex, he's been clocking up this flex and being a bit of a pain in the backside. Yes, he scored a couple of good scores. We bought him at like 470, I think. And so he's gone up to 547. So it's almost 70, 80k that we've made for him. He's got a massive break even of 179. So even if he scores 100, he's going to lose 40k. And he's clogging up this flex position, which is making it a bit tricky when it comes to buys and potentially later on in the season when I'm short of trades. Having this flex position clogged up by a ruck that I can't move around, I don't know. I don't think that's what I want. So we're thinking about trading him out, maybe. So we can either go this way. This way we get butters this week. But I'm also thinking about something else. So if we undo these changes, undo them, confirm we undo them. What if? Let's play the what if game. I think we're still going to go, definitely going Lindsay for Zach Butters. No, sorry, not for Zach Johnson, the other Zach. Praying that he doesn't get subbed or dropped or some disaster happens, which probably will, knowing how the rookie's been going this year. So we do this, we get 259k. Now, what if we still drop Marshall because he's going to lose that money, and he's like blocking up that spot, and we get McKercher? I think I've been swayed by the pack to think McKercher is a good pick. It could blow up in my face, but if he keeps that halfback role, he's done very well, so it could be okay. But this is a tricky pick. This is a value pick because I can't afford anybody else. If I could afford Nas, I'd probably get Nas because I think he's a lot more consistently going to be in his role. Whereas McKercher, if they change him up or play him on the wing, it's going to be a disaster. But at the moment, I think having him in that flex position is fine and good and probably get us through. So we said we had to get rid of Green. So what if we trade out? I think out of Green and Ashcroft. Green's the one that's going to lose more money if he plays, and he's just not that flexible for us. So what if we were talking about Doherty. What if we don't get Butters and we get Doherty this week? We fade the pack and we get Doherty this week and hope that this other mid-pricer helps us out. So that means we still potentially could get Butters, but not till next week. Now, Butters does play Melbourne this week, and we saw what happened. Melbourne, the Hardy Langford kid, tagged the hell out of somebody last week. Does it Dacos that he tagged? Was bugging him and hanging all over him, and they were whinging about it and stuff. Yeah, so that was all in the, we saw heaps of that. So he was all over him like a rash, like a cheap rash. I don't know. Do rashes come in prices? So what if we did this? Doherty in, Johnson in, and McKercher in. So we get the two cheapies this week at their bargain basement prices. They could both blow up in my face, and getting both of them is a big risk. But if I got both of them, look where the team is when we come out of the buys. So we get Butters this week. It doesn't really change anything. We're swapping a primo and a mid-pricer for another primo and another mid-pricer. We're not improving the team. So put Roberts here. We put Sinclair here. And down here, Daniel would be down here. Sorry, I thought I was missing somebody in chat then for a second. Okay, so let's have a quick look at how the team will look. So next week we want Mills next week. He'll be the cheapie that fill out our back line more than likely. So what we do is we go straight from a Carroll or a Gray. We've got 380k. So we go straight from a Carroll or a Gray up to a... Let's get the calculator out. You know what we do? You guys remember what we do whenever we get the calculator out? We do this one. No. So we get the calculator out. And so 382, 100. We'll save that in the memory. Now, next week, we get someone like a McCarthy. We go straight from Carroll to Mills. Now Mills is 357, 200, I believe. So if we plus 187, 400, let's say Carroll doesn't go up any money. Take 357, 200. Leaves me 200k in the bank. Defending line is finished. Defender's line is finished, and it looks like this. So here we look all good, but we're missing somebody here, and we're missing somebody here. We have McKercher here. So then next week we could potentially get Butters by going. We got 212k left, so there'll be almost 600k. We would have, if we got on top of Ashcroft, we would have 500k there. Or if we wanted to keep Ashcroft, even though he's got the bye the week after, what I'm hoping we can do is potentially get like a Kako down to the 99, maybe Tom and McCarthy. So that would give us 117k. So if we plus 117,000 equals, we'd have 329k. Chuck that on top of somebody. Have we got anybody? We've got. We can put that on top of Ashcroft and get Butters. In theory, it still means we've got a dodgy rookie here, like a Kako. Unfortunately, maybe we don't have to have a Kako here. Actually, maybe we can. I think we might have to. I think we can't get away with it, and then we can potentially get up to Butters from like Ashcroft. We would have 600k. I think Butters, if he gets 100 this week, if he does get the tag, he's only going to go up a little bit. And if he gets 100, even if he gets 140 or something, he'll still only go up 20k. So I think he'll be more expensive than he is this week, unless he gets a really shut down bad tag. But I think we can afford to go Ashcroft up here to Butters next week, or whoever we want. If there's somebody else that we want, which we want more, we'll have 700,000 we'll have, and then we'll have still like 120k in the bank to hopefully go get this primo, get one more primo. If some of these guys make a bit of money, like a Johnson makes some money, or a Clark makes some money, somebody makes some money, just somebody please make some money. And then we can pick up one of these cheap forwards like a Darcy or a Horn Francis or a McRae in a few weeks' time when they drop prices, hopefully for about 400k. And that way we have a full team, right? We got full back line with Mills. We got full here with the Butters here. They're all the way here. So we can actually do it this way, and then we can have, if we do it this way, we can have someone like a Johnson here, and then the week after, if we've got Mills there, we can have a Clark there. We can have a rookie that's actually potentially going to get us some money, actually going to get us a bit of money. Yeah, so this way though is we don't really need Butters if we don't want him there, but we probably do, you know. So, you know, we probably still have to do the whole use him in the flex position to get the Butters. We don't have any more people with DPP to move from our mids into the centre. I mean, we could always skip Mills, but then that doesn't really work for us. It leaves us two positions. I kind of think we need to cheat Mills. So, yep. Hey, Paris, how you going, buddy? Oh, yeah, it was terrible for me, mate. I've said that every week for the last 3 weeks, buddy. You had a bit of a... How was your week? You had a bit of a rough one, did you, mate? Let's have a look. Leagues. Rivalries. Bayside Spuds, that's you, right? $2,000, not bad, mate. Overall rank, you went down. Still 2,000 is not a bad score. Your team's looking alright. Actually, I'm going to be back in 2 seconds, mate. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Won't be long.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love turns to sun rays. And on.
Sorry about that, buddy. Sorry about that. Two ones and two twos. I know, but I think you got to. Don't worry when you come out of the buys. Is what really worries. What's where yeah. When you come out of buys is what's really going to matter, mate. Are you going to have a better team than when you come out of the buys and then you can catch them? I think you're still in catchable. You're not out of the game. It's getting, a little bit there. But when you come out of buys, you're really going to know how your team backs up to the other people. What trees would I do? What trees would I do? I don't know what trees I would do. Yeah, what trades? You got 4K. Ooh, you're cutting it fine. Let's have a look, buddy. You got Sinclair, Rosie, Zorko, Sheasel, Carroll and Clark. You got anyone to move back there? Oh, you got Roberts. Okay, so your back line is got one to go. Bontempelli, Neil, Merritt, Sarah, Rao, Dacos, Dunkley and Brayshaw to come back next week. So your midfield's done. Fine. Lock it. Throw away the key. Your midfield's done. You don't have any swappable action, depending on how many trades you got. I don't know whether you want to, if you're going to jump on the bandwagon, the Butters bandwagon, like what I put at the beginning of the stream today, butter or no butter. I don't know about you, mate. If you have, do you hate peanut butter? Do you have peanut butter on your toast? Do you have butter or don't you have butter? Now, I like butter, but it doesn't mean I'm getting Butters in my team. Neil to Butters. Yeah, one of those. If you're going to do it one of those two. Whoever you think's going to score less out of Neil or Merritt. Roberts to Nass. Morass to Johnson. Butter on your toast. I like butter under my peanut butter as well. I'll eat butter, just toast and butter. But if I have peanut butter, I like butter as well. Yep. I think it's going to be the question of the day. Merritt, it's not that he's terrible, buddy. It's just that it changed his position. They're your team, right, Essendon? Surely they wake up. They're not winning games. Surely they wake up and like, hey, let's put Merritt back, one of the best midfielders in the game, back in his position eventually. Neil is playing in his position, but he's just getting tagged, or he's doing the team, taking the L for the team, taking the So I think out of the two, you're probably right to go Neil. Plus, you make a little bit extra money. So I think if you're going to sideways, that's fine. Sherry and Gorn, Smith, Petrarca, Warner, Rankin, Daniel, and you got Bolton coming back, and Marshall. So the only spot you've really got to worry about, to be honest, is this back spot. Now, at which you're thinking about getting Nass. Okay. Roberts. Oh, you're still going to have a spot though. Do you not want to try and get a Primo here? Yeah, so did you see the beginning of the stream? Obviously not, because this is what I think, mate. Changes. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because, like you, during the buys, Marshall's been a gigantic pain in the backside there in that flex position. I think I bought him like you. I got him in cheap. He's made us some money, and now he's just blocking up that position. It's a pain in the backside having him stuck there. I need the flexibility, so I'm very tempted to get rid of him this week with that high break even. I'm sure he'll come back and punish us if we do in the future with a couple of big hundreds. But for me, I can also go Marshall to Butters, and by just chucking a little bit on the top. I was talking about the difference for me to go down or up. I can get two mid prices and look to a Butters next week by getting rid of Marshall, or I could just go straight to Marshall this week. Straight to Butters this week if I want Butters. I got a feeling Butters is not going to go up that much. he needs to smash out 140, and we can all pray that, we saw what Harvey Langford did to Dacos last week. Maybe they try that with Butters this week. So, not too sure, but yeah, I'm seriously considering dropping Marshall, thinking that he's made me some money. He's a pain in the ass in that flex position. I never really wanted a ruck after the beginning of the season. At the beginning of the season, I thought it might be nice to have a ruck there. Now, after experiencing it, it just blocks up your team too much. And I feel like having somebody else with a bit of DPP there action is going well. Are you thinking of... instead of sidewaysing Roberts, are you thinking of... Is there any way you could get a defender without sidewaysing Roberts? Like getting... Are you even considering Mills next week? Yeah, so I'm thinking the same thing with Marshall. Does Butters go up 20k though? He can, but is 20k a lot? Like, I'm thinking that 20k might not be the end of the world, especially that's why I'm thinking of getting Doherty, because Doherty's got a break even at 13, where Butters is, I think he's got a the butt of all the jokes is the Mr. Butters. Can we see this? So he's got a break even of 90. If we're lucky he gets tagged, he gets 110, he only goes up 10k. So they're predicting 105 and he goes up 6k. So best case scenario, he gets tagged, he gets 105 and he goes up 6k. So that would be an ideal world. We kind of hoped that would happen last week, but they moved the tag off him after the first quarter, which was a bit annoying. Yeah, Mills. So you've done your sums then, buddy? Can you, if you're doing the Nast Roberts this week, how are you getting Mills? Are you getting like a 99 player next week? Are you getting like a McCarthy or someone from 99? And then can you afford to get a Carroll or a Gray or a Clark up to Mills? Yeah, so that's what I mean. I'm thinking it's not the end of the world to fade Butters this week. Potentially to get him in next week, as he needs to get a mass. If he gets 140, he goes up 25k. Where, like you say, Neil and Marshall go down 40k, and in my case, where I'm thinking of Doherty could go up. If Doherty gets 100, he's going to go up 40k, which makes him unattractive at that price. What was that? Cats are having a fight outside my front. You hear that? Two cats are duking it out in my front yard. But very low on trades. How many? Yeah, you're going to be... after, if I do these 3 trades, it'll be 8. And then I'll do 2 again next week to get Mills. And then potentially 2 again. Actually, I only need to do 1 to get Mills. And then 2 potentially to hopefully get another forward or Butters. Maybe, I think that way I've actually decided to leave a rookie on the field to later. So I get Butters, but I have 5 trades left. But very low, yeah. See, in your position, I think it's okay to go all out and, leave yourself low on trades because you're in such... what do you got to lose? You go all out with your trades and you finish in first, yay. You go all out with your trades and you finish, you're in 100 down, you finish in 200, what's the difference? It's like, second is, if you're not first, you're last, right? Ricky Bobby style, if you're not first, you're last. So, at your level, where you're at, is McKercher a trap? Definitely, but I'm going there anyway. Let's go, I've got it ready to go. It's a trap. It is a trap, and so is Doherty. I'm going the 2 traps. I'm trapping myself, and I haven't got the trades to fix them if they go wrong. When these blow up in my face, I'm going to be stuck with these guys. I don't want to mention the Toby Green thing. We won't mention the Toby Green thing. But when these two guys, because that blew up in my face, when these two guys blow up in my face, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. I do think there is a big upside to McKercher. If they give him that role, awesome. You know, absolutely awesome. Now, as we say every week, the coaches come out and spin some type of bullshit where they say stuff like the North Melbourne coaches said, we're going to try and lock down the players in their positions. And it's like, yeah. So I'm going to take the bet that they've said Sheaves was going to play forward, fine. Looks like that means Daniel is locked in that back role, and hopefully they partner him up with McKercher, who we saw last year is capable of banging out those big scores. Like if we go back and have a look at him, when he played that role, he can bang out the big scores. The question is, does he play that role? And we don't really know if he's going to play that role or not. If he goes back to playing that wing role, you know, like we talk about, love my wings on a chicken, but don't really like them in my Supercoach players. It's like last year, like play that role, 102, 135, 91, 95, 134, 94, 103. So he can score big in that role. So that's why I think I'm willing to take that risk, just because I can't. If I could afford someone better and finish my team, I'd be going someone better. So I think he is a trap, and Mills might be a trap too. Mills could also be a trap. They could both be traps. Mills could just come out and not play that inside midfield role, or he could get injured again. So the only difference between him and Mills, as far as I'm concerned, is Mills is 50k cheaper. Hey Aiden, do you get rid of Kako? I don't see why. I mean, it depends if you need him or not. If you need him as a body on field, sure. Otherwise, I mean, he's only scoring you 40. I'll probably be getting rid of Kako maybe next week for a 99 play, just because I can't afford anybody else. Yeah, I mean, and that's why, Paris, both you and me, I think we're thinking along the same lines, as Marshall is a pain in the ass in flex. So I'm happy to have a Doherty or a McKercher or a Mills in my flex and just deal with it at the lower price. I'll take the risk of them in flex over Marshall, who's going to dump money, and could get 150 but could get 50 as well. So like you, he's just being a pain in the backside blocking up the flex at the moment. And anyone who's thinking of getting TDK into their flex, I'll warn you that come the end of the season, you might love his scores, but you might find it when there's a chance you might be able to get a 0 off your field by moving things around in the flex, you might find yourself trapped. So, like what you said before, Paris, I really regret buying Bontempelli. I bought him 2 weeks before the buy and I paid $670 for him, I think, and it's probably one of the bigger mistakes I made. There is no need for Bontempelli to be in my team, and I would have had an extra 100k, and I could have potentially picked him up this week or next week for cheaper. I could have got Butters this week for 50k cheaper, and I could have probably picked up Bont for 600k the week or two next week or the week after if I wanted him. Definitely a mistake getting in Bont. And I mean, a lot of people are going to say, but you want Bont in your team. Well, the scoring, it speaks for itself. He's got 200s, like you said. The two dodgy guys I'm getting in this week, McKercher and Doherty, could potentially outscore Bont and a rookie, or even Butters and a rookie. If you're getting Butters and Zach Johnson, or a dodgy rookie, Zach Johnson looks okay, but say you get a rookie that's getting you 50, you bought in the Kako like Adam here was talking about, you decided to buy him in because you were a crazy man, and you got so you could get Bont or so you can get Butters, as opposed to two cheaper guys, which are more value. Your two cheaper guys are gonna, score you. Like this week, say I had them both in last week. That's 150 for the two of them. Butters and a shit rookie is still only like 190. So that's how we're supposed to play a Supercoach. It's not always how I do it. I've proven that it's not how I do it. Neil or Merritt to go. So Aiden, we just had a bit of discussion with Paris about this. Paris is in the top 100, well, almost these days. He did get as low as 30 or something, I think. So I think we discussed that Neil is the one to go because Neil is playing that inside role and he's getting tagged and he's giving up, to the other. He's like playing the non-selfish role and letting the other midfielders at Brisbane do the job. Whereas Merritt is playing that shit role in the back line, and we hope that, one, they make him so it go back to the middle. They work out that that's a crazy thing to do, to put your best inside midfielder in the back line and put him back in the middle where we know he can score big. And if you're really unlucky and that doesn't happen, in round 18 we get some more DPP action, and he will probably be DPP then. If he plays in the back line every week from now to round 18, he probably gets DPP. So, I mean, we came to the conclusion we think Neil to go. This is Paris's team. He's in rank 101, so he's a very good man to chat to, Aiden, about these type of decisions. So, if you're going to get rid of one of those, and Neil's got more money on his head, so we're saying Neil to go. That might blow up in our face. Every decision we've made so far this year has been not great. And I'm sure if I trade out Marshall this week, he's getting 150 for sure. 100%. If I trade him out, he gets 150 this week. But the flexing is not. It's not flexing for me. He's not flexing for me. So for you, Paris, I think you can go both ways. You said you just want to do 2 trades this week. You've only got the 4K, but then say next week, I assume you're thinking of something like me. You're praying that Tom McCarthy plays for 99k, and then you'll just get like 99k for, if Pedler makes you some money, if Clark or Carroll makes you some money. Maybe you let Clark go 2 more. Get Mills for Carroll, who's not really or Gray, who's not making any money if you can, and then get McCarthy for 99k and just try and get as much money as you can to make that next Charlie Comburn. Ooh, does he go? Let's have a look. Has he you got him as a rookie, I expect, I know he's not a rookie, but he was at rookie price, right? 392. Oh, he's made some money for you, has he? 100. Oh, he's actually had a few decent scores. Pretty average up until round 9, where he smashed a 133. Did you buy him in for money like at this round? If you bought him as money, I would say yes, he has to go. If you think it doesn't look like he had basically 2 good games this season. The rest of the season's been pretty poor. Shoulder injury, out for 16 to 17. If you don't think he's a keeper in your team, if you don't want him in the end of the season, I think it's fine to get rid of him, especially considering he's not playing. I think it's absolutely fine to get rid of him. Who are you going to get though is the question. There's not much options in the forward line. That is the big. Oh, he's a defender. Oh, you got plenty of options in defender. You can go a rookie. You can get like the it's Keeler. Keeler's in the forward line too, right? Keycom, not the Keycom. Keeler's in the forward line. You could do a straight swap to Mills next week. Aiden, if you don't, I would be thinking like that. Keep him this week and do a straight swap to Mills next week. Maybe that's an option. maybe you go McKercher. You just chuck a little bit more money on his head and go McKercher this week if you like McKercher. I certainly think there's more upside on McKercher than there is on Combine. Like they're literally less than $1,000 apart. I think if you're willing to take a little bit of a risk on McKercher, it could blow up in our faces. Like, as you can see, this is my team and I'm going to take that risk. It could work out really well. I would say even McKercher on his worst day averages better than Combine on his best day. No, well, that's probably not. Overall, sorry, that's not right. On his best day, we saw he got 130, so McKercher's not doing that on his worst day. Overall, from now to the end of the season, in McKercher's position, no matter where he plays, I think he still outscores Combine. Yeah, so I think either, if it was me personally, I would ditch him for either McKercher this week or I'd ditch him for Mills next week. Straight swap. Make a bit of money if you do Mills. Even swap for McKercher. Get rid of him. Don't have to worry about him anymore. You're not going to want him in your team at the end of the season. Both of those other guys, you might not want him in the season, but I think they've got more upside than he has. Obviously, if you could afford to go one of the big boys in defence, like Nas is only 500k this week. If you can afford that, go there. I think he's a better option than both Mills or McKercher. A lot less risk involved. Bargain price for what we know he can put out. He's going to be very reliable. I can't afford to go there, but if people can afford to go there and still like max out their team, then I think that's fine. You want me to bring up your team, Aiden? We can have a look at your team on stream if you like. If you let me know the name of your team, happy to do that for you, buddy. We can have a bit of a look. So me, I would tossing up between, we can either do no Doherty and get Butters this week, and then I think that, am I happy with my trades? No. No, I'm scared shitless, Paris, of my trades, but I don't have a lot of options. I don't have many trades and I don't have much money, so I think I need to risk it now. I've already dropped. I plummeted from 2,500. You see my score. I've dropped again this week. I went another 1,900 places down. So I've gone from around rank 2,000 or something, and we're going to be lucky to finish in the top 10,000 of things, the ways are going. And even with my league, I lost my league, so I'm in like 7 positions. So I just need to get as much close to 22 primos as I can, and as you can see with this way, so like we said, we put Mills here next week. Mills will be in this position. We go like McKercher down here, and something like Ashcroft turns into either Butters or one of these forwards that's coming down. So in a couple of weeks, when Ashcroft gets to his buy in 16, both, I think it wouldn't be very much for me to go from him to Darcy or him to Horn Francis or for him to McRae. They'll all lose quite a bit of money. I mean, I might even be able to do close to a direct swap. Now, even though Ashcroft's bound to lose money this week, I was thinking, I did say yesterday that I thought he was like a must sell, but I mean, potentially he could get a 60 and lose 20k, but I think I could lose a lot more money on people like Marshall and these guys. The Doherty and McKercher are going to go up so much. I think losing the 20k with him, I'm going to accept that and hope that he has a decent score. He could always get a 80 or a 90 and not lose too much. Plus then I've got, easy money to get, that leaves me to 382k in the bank, which is enough for me to, I believe, get 22 primos and a shit flex, which is like a rookie, until the last couple of rounds. And hopefully, if there's no injuries and no pain, which there's bound to be, so expect that, say I get to the last, I've got 5, that'll leave me with like 5 or 6 trades, and when we get to that last 4 or 5 rounds, I just don't trade then after we come out of the buys. And when we get to like 5 rounds away from the end of the season, if I've still got 5 trades, we try and get that flex position up to a 23rd. But no, I'm not happy with my trades, Paris. Originally I wasn't going to get rid of Marshall. I know Marshall will go big if I get rid of him. I'm like sidewaysing a potential primo in Marshall to a very risky Doherty or McKercher. You know, there's no guarantee that either of these guys do it. If they work out for me, awesome. You know, if they work out for me, it gets me to 22 primos earlier than maybe I thought I would get to, and potentially if I went 1 down, Johnson, and then like took Ashcroft up to Butters, I probably don't get to 23 primos. English will clobber him. I don't know if English will clobber him, but I think English doesn't go up, great sometimes against other ruckmen, but I think he'll put up enough of a fight to make him get, like Marshall gets 100 and then he still loses 40k. Yeah, I don't think he's going to go huge, but when we trade him out, he will. Yeah, that's right. I think I've decided that I'm trading him out for me. Yeah, just because, every time, you know, usually you say, hey, Seano, that's a good idea, and then you don't do it, and then you win. So maybe you should just let me trade him out, buddy, and I can ruin it for everybody. Only joking, mate. But for me, he's clogging up that flex position, and coming in the buys in round 16, I might want that flex position, that mobility to move shit around, to try and get 18 players. I might struggle. This, as I am at the moment, I would struggle to get 18 players on the field around 16. So that's why I need to think about Ashcroft is probably going to have to go, whether it's going to be for a Butters type by moving him into the midfield, or to pick up one of these cheaper forwards like a Darcy or a Horn Francis is probably going to be the two. I think McRae he'll go down, but I think he'll go up. I think you'll get either Darcy or Horn Francis for close to 400k. Let's have a look. I think the Horny Man. So the Horny Man has that really low. So he's got a 155 break even. He's only at 499 at the moment. He's got this 22 in the system. So if he gets 100 this week, coming back from a hammy, you wouldn't expect him to go too big. He goes down 23. If he gets another 100 the week after, he goes down another 20. So that puts him at 450. So that's very acceptable for him. Bont to score 80 tonight. He better not. He better not, Paris. I will cry if he scores 80 tonight. You know, he's given me 2 shit weeks now. He's only given most people 1 shit week, but he's given me 2. It's hard. I know it's 100, but he's given me 2 shit weeks for his price. I want 120 plus tonight. 120 plus from you, please, Bont. And they talk about putting Liver in the playing back. Is that just the craziest thing you've ever heard? Liver is your classic, I don't do anything else but an inside midfielder. I just tackle a lot and go inside. Like, that just doesn't sound smart to me. We both ruined Bont. Yeah, I apologise to everyone for ruining Bont. Yeah, I mean, I would like... Everyone's jumped on him now anyway, and everyone's getting on Butters. And this is what... Have I learnt my lesson? Has Seano learnt his lesson? Do we go Butters this week and just cop that? Butters gets a 90 because he gets tagged and, you know, doesn't reach his break even and stays the same. You know, then I can't afford to get 22 primos in the next week or two. Or do I just fade him, get the two very speculative, risky players, and then be able to afford Butters anyway for basically the same price in a week or two. Plus, I can also get somebody else to fill out my 22. Plus then, because if I get Butters, getting Mills is going to be very tricky. If next week I got the money now, I could afford straight up to Mills whoever I want, whatever I want. And then I've still got the money left behind to do probably again, say Ashcroft, we get that money, and then I go down, I make another 100k, I'm pretty much going to have almost 500k to get, whoever I want at 500k, or we can do another trade and get Butters at 560 or whatever he is. So I think I'm going to try and learn my lesson. I'll do the community a favour. I won't get Butters, and he can go 150 for all you guys. How does that sound? For all the people out there who are getting Butters, Seano's going to do you a favour and not get him. I think this is, I think we need one of these for that. Let's hear it again. Zap. When Seano's in command of Supercoach, every mission is a suicide mission. Sounds about right. This week's trades are definitely a suicide mission. Absolutely crazy. If you had told me I was doing stuff like this at the beginning of the season, I'd be telling you, you're a crazy man. But if you get him, it negates me not getting him. I mean, everybody's getting him though. Like all the other podcasts I know you like to go around and watch the other guys and everything. How many streams have you been to, Paris, this week where everyone says Butters is a must? And you know what? I will give the man who deserves a bit of props here, not because of Butters, but because of Bont, is Supercoach Pro. Brad, who's Supercoach Pro, who I watch quite a lot, who's also right up there in the rankings. He said you didn't need Botters? All right, you don't need Botters. Me fail English? That's impossible. So I'm going to stick to my guns, just like Brad did, and he said Bont wasn't a must-have, and he was correct. And we can justify it to ourselves however we like by saying we want him in the team and everything, but Bont wasn't a must-have. He's lost 50k from when I bought him. I could have got another primo and I could have picked him up cheaper. He was a mistake. Don't matter how I want to sugarcoat it, Bont was a mistake. I paid too much at the wrong time of the season for him. They all say that this week. So I'm going to go against the grain and I'm going to say Butters is not a must-have if it screws up you getting to a full, if that means you can't afford your Mills or you can't afford to get 22 primos coming out of the buys. I think you can fade him, and I don't think he's going to go up too much. Yes, he could go up, but not by too much. Like, I don't think all of a sudden next week he's going to be 620k. He might be 580k, but I don't think he's going to be 620k. How long does Cadwell? I think if he keeps that role, they love him there. He gets lots of contested possessions. They got Merritt in the back line. Right now, he's the man. And because Durham went and tried to kill the other player and is out for a few weeks, I think Cadwell is going to be, I think 100 is his floor. I think 90 is his floor for the next few weeks at least. I think he could outscore Bont and Butters for the next couple of weeks. I don't think they tag him, right? They still might go to the tag to Merritt. He has glass hammers, yes. I didn't say he wasn't going to get injured. I just said he can outscore them. I think he's going to be one of the... I think if he can stay on the field, he's going to be one of my picks of the season, I think. And even Rao, the two cheapies are the ones that are really paying off for me. I got Rao at 470. He's outscored Bont every single week. 200k less than Bont he was, and he's outscored him every week. It's just really proven to me the value is where you go. Doesn't matter what the name of the player is. At this, you have to go the value when we're in a season like this. If this was a season where all the rookies made us shitloads of money and we were already at 22 primos now, I mean, like, buy whoever you want. Get in Jackson at 430k, 630k or whatever he is for your forward line. Do whatever you want. But this season is not like that. And if you're in some magical position, which I don't know how you would have got to, where every rookie you picked was gold and you've got 21 primos already and you only need one more primo, pay up for that guy. But if you're like me, where you've got 8 trades left after this week, you've got heaps of positions to be filled, you're gonna have to go. If you want 22, not even 23 primos, if I want 22 primos, I have to go the value. And the 2 times I've gone the value have paid off. The Toby Green didn't pay off, so it doesn't always pay off. But the 2 times I've gone these 2, the Rao and the Coldwell, have paid off. So maybe Doherty and McKerch pay off. If they don't, so be it. It's not like it's going to affect my ranking by tens of thousands. I'm already plummeting in the ranking every week. I'm going to be lucky to stay in the top 10,000. So what difference does it make? I'd prefer to have at the end of the season, when it comes to, what would I prefer, to have 2 rookies on the field when it comes to the end of the season, or have a full primo team with like a Doherty or a McKercher in the flex, and pretty much full primo, including those value prices. So that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm going to say you don't have to go Butters this week if it hurts your team. Is he a must-have by the end of the season? Probably, but you don't have to go him this week. Yeah, I mean, that is true, but then Sherry, I bought in at 670 or whatever as well. I had an opportunity to get him at 550 and do a straight swap for TDK and make 15k. If I had done that, I would have been brilliant. He could have called me the king of Supercoach, but I didn't do that. I waited till he made went up like 120k, and then I had to get him in and buy him. I think the rucks are different beasts. The only reason Sherry went down is because he was injured. Gawn hasn't really gone down. What's the lowest Gawn got to? 600k? Yeah. I mean, the TDK route worked, Paris. We just had to get off him at the right time. Now, I didn't get off him at the right time. I stayed on him too long. Until he was like, get off me. until he got injured. See, like Gawn started the season at 668, and the lowest he got was 600. So he hasn't exactly plummeted, where Sherry had that injury and he got down to 550. So I still think that starting them both at the beginning of the season was the best ploy, and that's what I'll be doing next season. I don't give a shit if they're 700k next season each at the start of the season. I think I'll just get them both. And I'll probably get Bont. I'll probably start next season like something like Sherry, Gawn, Bont and Butters, whatever they cost, and then go rookies and then values. No, after those guys, all my other, there'll be no midfielders over 550. There'll be no forwards over 550. There'll be those guys will be like 4 players, and then the rest of the team will all be rookies or valued till primos. You leave it too late, the season's over. Yeah, if you don't have Gawn or Sherry now, you're screwed. So, but I think that's not going to happen in 1 week with Butters. Like, I'm not saying you can fade Butters for 3 or 4 weeks. I'm just saying you don't need him specifically this week. There are other players that are going to drop more money and other players that are going to go up more money than I think he is. The worst case scenario for if you fade him is that he gets 150, right? I mean, I guess he could go bigger than that. But I'm saying worst case scenario, he gets 150. If he does that, he goes up 30k and he's at 600. Is that an absolute disaster? That's about the worst case, I would say. Anything less than that, you need the points. But if you're doing what I'm doing, like you said, he might get 150 points, but then I have to keep Kako on the field or whatever. It might get me 30 points. My McKercher and Doherty could still outscore him by 50 points. Yeah, that's it. In your situation, I'm thinking, Paris, in your situation, I'm still getting him because it's you and your rank. And I think he will outscore both Merritt and Neil potentially. And in the run from now to the end of the season, I think he'll outscore them a lot. Yeah, so that's why that's why I'm getting rid of Marshall. If he scores a 65, I thought about Zorko as well, especially with his bye coming up. But at least he's still got that position. He's being, you know what? He's a very angry man, Zorko. He's an angry, I'd say young man, but he's an old man. He's an angry old man. He needs to calm the fuck down and just start playing the game and concentrate on getting the ball and getting us some Supercoach points. He always seems to be bitching and moaning and grumpy and whatever, and cracking the shits and giving away free kicks. I was fuming at the free kicks he was giving away last week. Him and Warner, I was swearing at the scores. I was cursing their name. I was like, shut up and play the game. Stop giving away free kicks. Get on with it, you two useless bastards. I was having a rant. Clanger after clanger and free kicks and bitching and moaning and you're like, is he the captain? You're the captain. You're supposed to be a senior player anyway, you know. Grow up. You're one of the oldest players on the field. Grow the fuck up. Stop being an angry man. Get on with it. Stop concentrating. What are you doing? I mean, if they find some form, they're going to be good, but they're not finding the form at the moment. It's an interesting year overall. You like my little rant there? Yeah, I was pretty pissed. I was so pissed at Warner too. 3 free kicks in the first 10 minutes of the game. Like -8 or something he's on Supercoach points for the first 15 minutes. Oh, I was so angry. This score without those free kicks is like 105, I think. He gets like 105, 100 to 110 without those free kicks. It's like, oh my God, give me a break. Give me a break. They were lucky everyone was shit last year. Maybe. Ladies, my team goes. Pies are looking good. Pies are looking good this year. I have to admit. I don't like to admit it, but Pies are looking good. I don't know if we have any Pies fans. I could always show you this. I got this set up for Pies fans. Oh, you'll enjoy this too then, Paris. This just makes me happy inside when I watch this. Look at that mark. He shepherded me. He pushed me out of it. Oh, whingy, complainy. Oh, probably was. Commentators love the Pies. I'm not a big Dom Sheep fan, to be honest, as a West Coast supporter, but I love this. I love him just for this one kick. As an Eagles supporter, it makes us like Eagles supporters happy to watch that. I have a good friend that's a Collingwood supporter as well, so he'll be happy that I show that. They're not my most hated team. But I'm not a big fan. You would think that Freo are probably my most hated team, but I don't mind Freo that much either. I don't like it when West Coast play Freo, but yeah, that mark from Liam Ryan and Willie Rioli won us that year. That year they won us the premiership and they won us that game. The two of them together were amazing. Let's just call it how it is. That was a really good team, and the two of them together were just amazing. Without them, we don't win that premiership. I haven't been to a Collingwood match, no. I've only been to one match in Melbourne. I went and saw the Eagles play Geelong in like a semi-final, and Geelong smashed us. Absolutely destroyed us. Quite a few years back now. It was nice. It was my first time ever at the MCG. It was nice to experience the MCG, but it wasn't a very good job for the Eagles. A semi-final, and they destroyed us. We lost. It was a big loss. Yeah, it was nice to see the MCG. Could have at least made a game out of it though, the Eagles, but no, we lost by a massive, or a big margin. But yeah, so I think I'm going to take the massive risk. We're going to fade Butters. We're going to get the two mid prices, the two extremely risky mid prices, and then bank ourselves 380k. I pray that I might even if McCarthy doesn't play this week, I might just get him as a dead rookie with the ability to work with Saad El-Houli here, like, you know, drop Carroll, move Saad back, which is good for someone who I've got like Sinclair and here, and get him in the midfield, and just have that ability to swap even if he's a dead rookie. I'm not going to do that this week. Even if he's named this week, I'm not doing that this week. I think you can go other rookies this week. You don't have to get the 99k. I understand if you're thinking just like I'm thinking for next week, you just need the money and you don't care, and you're going to use him as a, you know, swapping around your team. Or if you're getting one dead rookie to replace another dead rookie, like a Gray, or if you've got a Huswaite or a Tom Gross, and that gets you the money. You're getting that 99k rookie gets you the money to get who you want. A Butters or one of these mid prices, fine, but don't forget he's not going up money, where people like Zach Johnson are going up money, and Keeler in the forward line will go up money, and even the Tyrell Dewar, I think I was calling him Dewar, but he might be Dewar. Also, and then there's that Geelong guy who I think he's a trap. I think Closey is a trap. He's been the sub too often, and I think he only replaced this guy. No, not Brad Close. Where is he? Is it Closey? Is that his name? The Geelong rookie. He came in as a late. I think he's going to get dropped this week anyway. If Bailey Smith plays, I think he gets dropped. It is Geelong, right? Why can't I see him? There he is, Ted. Oh, can you guys see that? I think this guy is a big trap. I think he'll be dropped anyway. If he's not dropped, he'll probably be the sub. Just because he was the late in when Bailey Smith was the late out, and he's been a sub a few times before that. So this is the rookie I think is the one I wouldn't be going for. So I'd stay away from this guy. The other rookies I think are all... every rookie's risky this year, but I think they're all less risky than this guy. So, yep, we need to play the clip. Play the clip, Seano. Thank you, Admiral Akbar. So, I mean, also, the other guy, my mate, the Eagles mate, I think it's also a trap. But I like it. I think the trap is less trappy. I think this guy still plays. I think he plays. I just don't know if he plays that position. And I'll tell you what, if Tom McCarthy doesn't play this week, he could be an option. He could be an option because he's taken the kick-outs the last 2 weeks. I mean, the only people are speculating that we don't even know what position Tom McCarthy's going to play. I would almost bet I'm not going to bet, but I would almost bet that Tom McCarthy comes in and he plays a wing. And he gets subbed. You know, all these people are saying they bought him to play him. Did we buy him to play him? I mean, we've got plenty of young guys. The Eagles have got plenty of young guys. You know, it's not as if the young guys are the worst, even the worst players in the team. You know, we got players, we got some of our veterans playing pretty average. So, I mean, is it fair? I want to know, is it fair to take out someone like a Gross, a Hall, or a Hewitt and put in Tom McCarthy ahead of them? I mean, let's face it, he hasn't played AFL, he's only played VFL. At least these other guys have already had a go at AFL. You know, they have the experience. Should have done that hours ago. So, I mean, that's why if you're getting in Tom McCarthy thinking he's going to have a great role and make lots of money, I'd be looking at him for a week. Even if he plays. I mean, at 99k, you kind of can't go wrong. He's just not going to be the sub. But he could be the sub. Have we not seen what Minnie McWalter does? He makes all the kids the subs. So my ranking on the rookies this week, I like the Essendon guy, the best, Zach Johnson, followed by, he was the sub in the first week though, so he could be the sub, and he had low time on ground. I mean, Zach Johnson, he looks good, but he could also blow up in our faces. I would give it a 50-50 chance. That's how high I'm rating it, that Zach Johnson is either the sub or drops a shit score. Gets 60% time on ground, gets a 30 or a 40. The only good thing is his role. At least it's like a midfieldy role. It is a midfieldy type role that he's playing right. But yeah, he's anyone wants the McKercher stats, I went through and did it. We had a look over his past years. So when he plays that back role, that was he averages about 114 when he plays that back role, if he plays that back role. Who are we looking up? Zach Johnson. The Zach Attack week. So 1 week he's the sub. First week he's the sub. Second week he plays a back role, not midfield. So this is a great role for a young rookie kid. Keep this role. Beautiful. But he did only play the lowest time on the ground out of any Essendon player. Time on ground 67%, and the week before was 64%, and he got a 48. If he plays a full game, it looks like he can score. What type of position did they have him in here? Kind of a back. So the role he has when he plays is good. It's if he's going to play a whole game. Now, I reckon it's 50-50 whether he plays a whole game or not. The only thing helping him is maybe the Durham brain fade that Durham has had and been rubbed out for several weeks. Keeps him in and maybe gets him a little bit more time on ground, which could be nice. You're not going to trade him McKercher, so I'm safe? Yeah, cool. If you could stay away from Doherty too, Paris, that'd be nice. Stay away from my players. To contact me this week, you can discuss trades, discuss disasters. You and me get together and discuss disasters every week. Can't guarantee Doc. You know what? I think Doc's role, I'm praying and hoping. I don't see, from what we read, from what Doc said himself, and from the Chatty head coach, I feel like Doc either plays that defensive role or he's not going to play in the team. That's how I feel it sounded like to me. He's like, hey coach, I want to play this, seagull defensive role, and if you don't want me to play that role, I don't feel comfortable in the team playing a midfield or whatever, I don't like it, send me back to the VFL, I'm happy to play back there. I thought I thought it was less stress, I thought it was fun back there. So as long as he's in the team from now, I'm thinking he gets that role. The coach has said, oh shit, look, you were pretty good in that role, and you've been pretty good in the role the last couple of weeks. While you're in the team, you get to play that role. It just I'm hoping that's my thinking. Reading in between the lines, I'm hoping that's what the thinking is, and it gets me I'll be happy for a 80 to 115 each round. I prefer probably an 85 to a 90. If you get me a 90 to 110, I'll be stoked. I will be happy as a pig in shit, as they say. Not that, pigs are actually very clean animals, and I doubt they roll around in their own shit. But you know what I mean. That's the saying. Cadwell's worked out. Rails worked out, and McKercher, I'll be happy with the same score. If McKercher can get me a 90 to 110, awesome. But unfortunately, the thing with McKercher is, if he loses, I think he's got more chance of losing his role. I think Doherty, it seems to me that they've said, all right, Doherty, we're going to play in that role. McKercher can be moved to the wing. And if he gets moved to the wing, hello, 50s for the rest of the season for Seano. And there ain't nothing I'm going to be able to do about it. I'm going to have to keep him in my team and cop 50s and just crap, maybe in the last few weeks I trade him out for, a rookie or something. But now, he got as low as, could have got him at 300k. 287. He went down to 287. So he's already gone up. If you had jumped on him as soon as he got this 129 at 300k, it would have been 80k cheaper. Well, 93k cheaper. If only we had saw it then, right? If only we had saw it then. 287. He's like a high-priced rookie at this price. Wow, I didn't even realise he got down that low. Can't trust. It's not so much him. Can't trust the coach. Even in that role, he is still young. It's only his second year. Sometimes I wonder if I would have preferred him than Harley Reid as the number 2 pick. I think he was. Sometimes I think I would have preferred McKercher than the Harley Reid. We could do with a guy who can sit down the back there. He's got really good ball use and everything. I think instead of a Marek, could we have McKercher instead of a Harley Reid? Might have been better at the Eagles, for the Eagles anyway. Anyway, we can't go back and do that. But I think he's got more upside, but he's also more risky. I think Doherty can play that role while he's in the team. He's going to get me 90 plus. Which is better than a rookie, right? Which is basically why I'm getting both of these guys. It's not because I think they're super primos. It's because they're getting a rookie off the field. They're both going to play. Question is, will they play where I want them to play? Hewitt's a great pick. I think the only thing with Hewitt, though, right, has he not been doing a little bit of defensive role lately? At the beginning of the season, he was just like, hey, you're a midfielder, go for it. Now, isn't he not quite a tagger, but almost a tagger, playing like a defensive midfielder? Look at the beginning of the season, 94, 123, 26, 125, 132, 171. So since that 171, he hasn't got a score over 120. 103, 103, 100, 190, 64, 114. I still think that's a pretty good record. He's only, take out that 64, he's got one score less than 100. So, yeah, I think that is pretty good. At 430, I think it's a fair pick. You'll see defensive mid when he drops to 150. I think he's showing he can do it. He's showing he can do it. So, I think he's a good pick this week. I mean, if he's set off the chain, he looks like off the chain. He looks like a 120 plus player. With a low of a 90, of a 94. I mean, anytime you've got a midfielder, if that's the lowest score they get you as a 94 and every other score is 100 over the season, except for maybe one failure, you'll take that every day of the week. He's built like an IR accountant. but he smashed out a 150 last week. That hurts me, honestly, Paris, not getting Max Holmes when he was 515k and buying, like, that's a big mistake, another big mistake. I got Whitfield at 590, could have got Max Holmes at 515 and scored very similar since that time. He's a little bit more up and down, but and his role. Max Holmes, I don't think they're changing Max Holmes' role. Max Holmes' role is in the guts, and that's where he'll be playing. Yeah, that's correct. He does have that tag issue, but when he doesn't get tagged, he scores 150. Maybe they just don't think he's that damaging. But I still think at 115k, he was a better buy than Whitfield. Another mistake by me. I could have got Whitfield now at 130, and now that his role's changed, I don't really even know if I want Whitfield now. If you were thinking about buying in Whitfield, I'd be definitely just waiting and seeing if this role seems to persist. 81 in this current role, this looks like about his scoring 80 to about 120. In his old role, like, look at him, bang, big scores. I think he can come back, though. He will come good, but I'd prefer if I bought him now and then he came good, Paris. I would prefer that extra 70k have, like, instead of having Whitfield, I've got Holmes there, and then like jumping up from a Roberts to a Whitfield or something like that. Now with the less money, with that extra money, who knows, I could have had a Butters. I worked it out the other day that buying the Bont at max, buying Whitfield at max, buying Sinclair at max, it's probably close to 250 to 300k. Hey Donut Man, how you going? Cash is tight. Would you like to look? After my crazy trades this week, crazy trade, 382,000 in the bank. That's what I'm doing, crazy trades to get cash. That's how desperate I am. Crazy trades to do cash. Risky. The three riskies. Risky business. That's what we should have called this stream. Risky business. I think I might change the thumbnail for when it goes up on stream to risky business, because this is risky. This is, we can't do much about it, but it's still risky, and this is risky. This is going to hurt. This was risky and failed, and this is, whatever. This is okay, Lindsay. You've done your business. Out you go. But yes, Donut Man. Time, it's hard. Cash is king, and we don't have much of it. Yeah, all three is super risky, but I don't have much choice. Couldn't really hurt. But couldn't really hurt. It could really hurt. I was going to say it couldn't really hurt. It could have gone scores 150 this week. But, I understand. I'm getting rid of Marshall, which I'm not making as much cash, but it's kind of the same thing. So would I do it? No. I've got Gorn. I'm just... The one thing for me is the captain side of it, the vice captain side of it, I think steers me away from doing it with Gorn. If you're doing it with a Zorko or a Merritt or a Neil, I understand it. Now, I know Gorn's worth a lot more money, but Gorn is your guaranteed vice captain or captain every week. That score, when he smashes a 170 and you have him as your vice captain or your captain, potentially is worth more than the person that you're trading down to get the two. That's the only reason I'm not a big fan of doing the Gorn down, just because that's your captain. That's your captain score, and that score is what held me up during the beginning of the season. Gorn is why I got to rank 2,500 or so, is because he can provide a big captain score. If forever Sherry fails on the vice captain, I know Gorn can back him up and he's going to deliver most weeks. TDK has Sherry next week, yeah. He is and gone. So I would, if you're going to do this donut, man, maybe listen to Paris. Maybe this week is not the week to do it. Yeah, so Zorko to Mills. I mean, even 162, yeah. It's a shame. I mean, Zorko to McKercher this week. McKercher's playing. Get Mills next week. Mills isn't playing, so you probably don't... I mean, I understand why you want to do it, because Zorko's going to plummet cash. If you had lots of players this week, and you were just like, screw it, and you wanted to play risky business like me, you wanted to, you know, dance around your living room in your underpants, like in the Risky Business movie. I mean, fine. I think you're going... I think... Even then, I think it's if you got a full team, like almost a full team playing, and you wanted to do it this week and just roll the dice that Mills doesn't like fall apart in the next, you know, before next week. The sticky tape doesn't break and he doesn't like fall in half. I think Zorko can come back. Like, I think he's playing just like an angry man. He's playing like an angry man. Stop giving away free kicks and clangering it and stuff, and, you know, concentrate on what you're doing. McKercher, I tell you what, McKercher and Mills are both traps. They're both traps. It's a trap, but sometimes, you know, we can't do anything. They might play Mills on a wing. You know, they might. McKercher could go back to the wing, but Mills could quite literally come in. There's nothing that says he has to play inside mid. Now, we all want him to play inside mid, and it's definitely his best position. And the first week, they eased him into it, left him a little bit behind the ball, low time on ground. The second week, he did play more. Let's have a look at his heat map. He did play more mid, and he did play more time on ground. So I do like it. But I think they're both risky. What are we doing? Not 40 scores, DFS. I'm going Mills, but I'm going there next week. So don't let me talk about Mills. I'm going there next week. But I still think he's risky too. I think they're both risky. Player stat. But I do like the look of what I see here. I do like the look. So this is last week. This is the last week he played where he got the 100. In the middle, in the guts, bit in the back line here, a bit behind the ball, but a bit in the guts. And that's at 85% time on ground. Zero centre bounces. None. He didn't go to any centre bounce. That's interesting. He didn't go to any? Okay. The week before, though, he only played 64% time on ground. So that's the big difference. He only played 64% on time on ground the week before. And that week he was more of a lot more on the back. So I think he's come back. They're easing him into it. 1 week he plays a little bit back. They don't play him too much. Next week they give him more time on ground. They put him in the middle a little bit. But the fact he didn't get any CBAs, that's a little bit of a worry. Who's getting who got all the bloody CBAs in that week in Sydney? Who got them all? CBAs. Close. Sydney. So in here, is he even on the... Callum Mills got 0. So, okay, Justin Sheldrick got 0 this week. Oh no, Angus, you got 60. James Jordan got 40. Chad Warner got 68. James Rowbottom. And Brody Grundy. Where the hell did you come from with 2 massive scores 2 weeks in a row? And Isaac Heaney. So he's not playing the inside midfielder role that we want him to play. He's not playing that role. So, again, he's a risk. Can he be the mop-it-up backman like the Zorkos and the Whitfields of the world? Can he be that player? Maybe, but we don't know. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a pod donut man. I think at 400k, if he gets down to 400k, everyone's going to jump on him. I'm looking at him at 400k. I'm thinking he's going to look nice and pretty here. Either him or a Horn Francis. But if he gets to 400k, I don't think I can refuse either McRae, Horn Francis, or Darcy. Whoever gets closest to 400k gets in my team. Get in my team. Got a full side this week and it's just saving cash. I wouldn't. If you've got a full team, don't get rid of Gawn this week, buddy. I think most players have a full team this week. Oh, you don't mean like a full primo, you just mean a full team playing. I'm not setting mine up for it just yet, just because I want to look at what's happening with my trades coming out of the buys. Once I set up my team, I also have I have 20 or something playing, as long as there's not 20 million laid outs like there was last week. Who are you guys thinking about your captains and vice captains? Are you thinking anyone but Sherry and Gawn? I'm just not risking the non-Sherry and Gawns, but yeah, but if you've got a full team playing, I don't recommend getting Gawn out. I understand if you're getting rid of Zorko, if you're getting rid of Neil, if you're getting rid of Zach Merritt. I understand all of those. I just can't justify Gawn. Not with the potential that he has for scoring, and not with the potential he has for scoring as your captain or vice captain. I'd prefer to take the risk. For me, I'm prepared to go the risk on a McKercher or a Doherty than going down with Gawn to a premium. Like getting rid of Gawn and getting a Zach Butters and another mid-pricer, or going down and getting up. I'm prefer to go. I prefer to take the risk. You only got Zorko, and Zorko, I think out of those three, Neil, Merritt, or Zorko, I think Zorko's got the best chance to come back and be okay, because his role hasn't changed. He's not. I mean, he does get a tag though sometimes, right? Sometimes they put the forward tag on Zorko, so he can get a tag. But Neil is copping it. Every team is looking at Neil and saying, "Let's tag this guy," and Merritt is his position has changed. So I'm thinking, out of the three, I would be trading out Neil. Then I think Merritt and Zorko are very tricky, because if Merritt goes back to his old role, we know how good he is. And if Merritt doesn't go back to his old role, he gets DPP. So I think Merritt and Zorko are very down the line on which one is, if I had to trade out one of the three, I think Neil is number one. And then the other two, if you didn't have Neil and you had Zorko and Merritt, I'd be thinking, but if you've only got Zorko, I would still... I would still consider, if you said to me, what would I prefer that you do? Trade out Gawn for TDK or trade out Zorko for a McKercher or a Mills? I would be saying trade out Zorko for a McKercher or a Mills. I'm hoping anyone who gets in TDK that Pittman's going to be named, but that's not going to happen now. I think Carlton showed that they're not. Pittman was available and they haven't named him. TDK is the man for them, and they're going to play him. And they're going to play him solo. Now, after I've said that, let's see the team sheets come out. Team sheets for today, I assume we've all had a look. Darcy in, Cooper Hines in, Gardner out, James Harms is injured. For St Kilda, you got Stoker in, McRae, Boxall is out, and Philippou is out. Anyone getting in Keeler this week, he's named on the field, and he's named in the back line. This is a good thing. If you needed a rookie in the forward line, and you were okay to pay up. So this is another option for me, right? I could literally not do the Marshall trade, only get one of the risky players and go like Toby Green down to, like, so if we were to confirm, say we went Toby Green down to Keeler, who in that back roll, I think he gets 60. I think he gets a 50 or a 60 in that back row. I think he's, you know, I think it's reasonable. We go there, complete the trade. And then we could go like here, complete this, do this trade. So this is probably the other thing that I'm kind of thinking about. No, wrong Zach. Complete trade. We got 465k in the bank, and then we just go a straight. We can go straight like Ashcroft to McKercher for basically the same price. So I can do this week. Now it means I miss out on Doherty. Out of the two, I mean, I'm listening to outside noise again where people are saying they prefer McKercher to Doherty. I think Doherty is a bit safer in his role. I think McKercher has a higher upside with being able to get bigger scores if he gets this back roll. So how does this leave my team then? How does this leave my team? So then we put this here. Next week we have 455 to play with. Let's get out the calculator. You know what happens when we get the calculator out? Out comes the calculator. So, can't put it on the screen because when I do this, so clear, memory clear, 455, 400, memory save. So that's how much money we've got if we do it this way. St Kilda have played their bye, so he covers me. Keeler covers me for the next couple of weeks. We get McKercher in there. Next week we get Mills. And we get Mills by, I mean, I think Carroll, hopefully Carroll just gets like a 60 this week and goes up a little bit, you know. If Carroll could get a 60 this week, he goes up 15k, means he's worth 205. I mean, if not, we get Gray. Let's say we just get rid of, we want two playing rookies to help us out. We get rid of Gray. So, plus 175 or 500, that's 2k too much, equals take, so we'll do it 355 to counter for my mistake for Mills. So we get Mills next week, straight for Gray. We got 270k left in the bank. Then what problems do we have? We have two forward positions problem, and we have one midfielder issue. So for the 250k, we can't get much, which is my problem. We've still got Marshall here, who could deliver a big steaming turd into my team, and there's not much I can get for the 250, which is why I want to go the other way, I think, because it leaves I would have two spots, even if I do, you know, this. This is why I don't love this trade. It would leave me a hole here and a hole here. Got Mills there with 275k in the bank. So is there anybody like on top of, no one here, so that's 3, that's only 400k. Not this week. Potentially though, in the week after, or the week after that, I could go up from a Sims or a Kiefer or a Keeler to a Darcy or a potentially a lower Horn Francis. You know, he plays I'm not taking the risk on Doherty. Gets me 60, goes up some money. Maybe if he plays the next 2 weeks and he gets, if he goes up, if he plays, gets 2 60s, what's he going to score? So they're saying a 40. So if he gets a 60, this extra 10k goes up 40k. So an extra 10k, so it would be 210. And then chuck another 10k on this, be 230. So I would have 475. I would be able to get either the McRae, the Horn-Francis, or the Darcy that in 2 weeks' time for the position, leaving only the one rookie here on the bench. I've got this big steaming turd here that's holding up, blocking everything though, and I just have to keep him for the rest of the season, that means. And then for this position, it means I don't get Butters. I just have to try and upgrade this to whoever I can afford, you know, in a couple of weeks' time. Or potentially we get a 90. What happens if we get a 99k rookie next week, and we go down from someone like a, say we get rid of Kako next week for 99k, get a 99 Tom McCarthy and make 118k. So plus 118000. We'd have 393k to put on any player. 560 does not get me Butters. Again, 560 does not get me Butters. But it would get me another primo midfielder. I could potentially get a primo midfielder for, you know, a Tom Green or someone who's 550. I just have to fade Butters. Get myself a Tom Green for one of, like a Tom Gross for a Tom Green. Maybe 190. Maybe I can get Sims out and afford Butters if I want Butters. Memory save it. Plus, what about if Sims goes up? He's still got a fairly low break even of 22, so he might even make me some money. But let's say he makes no money. Plus 190, 200, 580. If Butters gets the tag this week and only gets 100, he stays under 580, I believe. It'll be very close. Or Sims could go up some money as well. Sims could go up. Sims could get a 60 or a 50 and go up 10k. I could literally get rid of Sims and get in Butters for that position in the in the back line. Yeah. What do you think about that, Paris? What do you think? Do you think it's smarter for me to do that? You're the man. Do you think it's smarter for me to get in the rookie and don't take a risk on either McKercher or Doherty, and then get, you know, so then potentially we have Mills and Butters with one rookie that's playing here, or Mills and a Tom Green, or Mills and a 550k player, but we're stuck with Marshall blocking up everything? Or do we just sideways from Marshall, bank that money and do what we were going to do before? We get the two mid prices in. I mean, the team looks okay like this. If you told me Marshall was going to score 100 every week, I would do it this way. I just don't know if Marshall's going to do that. Decisions. What do you guys do? There's a few people out there watching, crew. If you were me, what would you do? If you were me, what would you do? I do think Keeler's pretty... He's named on the field. He's not going to be a sub. I do have a mid-pricer there, which is stinking up the team. I make some money. I mean, a lot of people aren't going to have that mid-pricer Toby Green. We call him Karate Kick Man. I had to laugh. You guys might appreciate this. I said it yesterday. So, all in my trade video, I said he was concussed. Toby Green wasn't concussed. He was kneed in the buttocks. He had a glute issue. He got kneed up the backside. And then he couldn't run, he got taken out. Now, most of us would probably consider that might be where Toby Green keeps his brain, as we like to call him the Karate Kid, because he likes to kick people with the studs of his boots in the head and get suspended for it. Now, he hasn't done that yet, but if someone told me that Toby Aaron keeps his brain in his backside, I'd believe them. You know, the Karate Kid, he usually gets suspended at least once a year by doing something pretty damn stupid. And so, I'm not too sure you wouldn't take a risk on McKercher or Doc. But yeah, you're in a different position than me. I need to get one or the other or both. Otherwise, I'm not filling up my team. Would you prefer to have Doc or McKercher, who are definitely going to go up money, or have Marshall, who's could plummet money? It's a question, isn't it, crew? Is it the question? This is the question. Along with the question, do you know? I think Paris is the only one I answered. Donut Man, do you, when you butter, if you have peanut butter on toast or Vegemite on toast, do you butter the toast first? Do you like butter? Do you have, to butter or to not to butter? I'm a butter man, but I don't know if I'm a butters man. I don't think I have a choice. I have to take the risk on one of them, Paris. It's whether the question is, do I risk them both? So this way, are all those sums right? We have how much money in the bank? We do this 455k. Go up to Mills next week. That's finished. Got him here. That's fine. You're keeping him, hoping that he's going to play. He's blocking the shit up. If Makila doesn't play, we need someone. I guess we can get. Can we get Kako down there? Tom Gross. Why is Tom Gross no longer down here? Yeah, I did. Even if he had made some money, it would have been alright. Hey, Paris, that was the theory, right? Even if he shat the bed, he would make some money. Unfortunately, we didn't expect that he'd get hit in the brain. I mean, the backside. Who would have thought? He got kneed in the brain and he got taken off. I mean, I don't mind the look of this. I worry about Marshall. I worry about, I feel that at least he's making some money. If he gets a 60 for a couple of weeks, he goes up to maybe 250. It's an easy jump from a 1 down to a 1 up to get to one of these 400k players. Doc is the better of the two. I thought that too. Maybe I should go on my gut. What if McKercher gets that roller and comes out and smashes another 140? What if he does get that roll? It's like, I'm pretty sure Doc's got the roll. But what if McKercher gets that roll? Plus he's got the DPP, which is nice. Makes him a good flexi dude. I mean, at least he's showing he's got the big ceiling this year. Doc hasn't shown that, but I'm kind of with you. Like, I'm listening to outside noise. Outside noise talked me into McKercher. Maybe we need to just go. Maybe we just need to go. A lot of people are going to go McKercher this week too. Maybe if I go Doc and it blows up in their face, I'll be ahead of them. Yeah, I mean, I don't have that problem as much. I do keep Levi. If I get rid of Marshall, I'll probably keep Levi, but then I'll probably dump Levi for that round 16. So we do it this way. We still have the similar amount of money. We've got Doc there. I mean, worst comes to worst, if McKercher came out and smashed a big score. If he gets 100, he's going to go up 40k. Then I'm probably not going to want him. The only issue is, do we complete our team again this way? We have Mills. Yeah, I'm pretty tempted to do it like this. Just the trades. If I had more trades, I would 100% do it this way. If I had 10 to 15 trades, 10 to 14 trades after this, doing these three, I'd 100% do it this way. 100%. You're mediocre picks. I think you're right though, and I think it's because I've watched all the other podcasts and people are saying they think McKercher is they're saying they like McKercher over Mills, and they think he's got good upside and everything. I can see all their arguments. No one's really compared him to Doc. I don't think anyone, like McKercher, look, 4% of people are getting him in. I don't think anyone's getting Doc in, to be honest. I don't think trade in 0.4%. He's the pod of all pods. He's the pod of all pods. Nobody is getting him in. How many people actually own him in their team? Let's have a look at that. This is enough to make me pick him, I think. If I don't get both, this is enough to make me pick him. Owned in... Oh, is it not up? It's up in the summary. 0% of teams. Only 930 people have him. 0%. We'll call it close to 1%. Nobody has him. The only good thing if I get McKercher is that he's definitely going to go up money. Not that I have the trades to jump off him, but I can upgrade him to somebody else. In 2 or 3 weeks' time, I can say, screw the trades, spend a little bit more money and upgrade him, even if he shits the bed. So if he comes out, gets 100 this week, let's say 87, he goes up 20k. If he gets 100, he goes up 35k. If he gets 120 though, he goes up 40, 50k, he'll be 450. If he can do, even if he goes, 87 and 80, he goes up to 448, he goes up 50k. If he plays that role, he does better than this, I think. If he doesn't play the role, he could do worse. I really don't know, crew. I really don't know what I'm going to do. Whatever picks I do, they're probably going to be different to what you're looking at. What you're looking at here, they're probably going to be different to that. If I had a boost, I'd 100% boost this week and I'd get them both. You're copying a 60 tops, yeah. But then, who am I? If I don't get him, who am I? So we're going to have Mills here for one of these guys. We got Johnson there, it's fine. And we got Keeler here, it's fine. It means we live with Marshall. Who's more likely to get a 60? McKercher or Marshall? The other thing though, Marshall is being a pain in the arse in that position. He's being a royal pain in the arse. He's spoiling things. He's blocking things up. I mean, the other thing is we could go straight to Butters. We could go screw the Doc. Join the masses who are said are going to join the masses and do that. Let's have a look at the money. If I do this, how do we look money wise? How do we look money wise if we do this? All right, crew. Let's get the calculator out. Hey, Mikey. Oh, Mikey, the team's a bit of a dumpster fire, to be honest. Thank you for saying it. I really appreciate you saying it, but the team's a bit of a dumpster fire. You know, it can't be put out. Thank you for dropping by, though. Yeah, the fire is well and truly burning, and we're yet to see if it's going to burn its way to the ground or if there's a chance the fire department can actually put it out. At the moment, I feel like I'm burning it to the ground. Let's do the sum. So if we get in Butters this week, we fade Doc and we fade McKercher, the two mid prices. So we have 284, 90, 900 left next week. We want to go straight from probably a Carroll. We'll just say Carroll doesn't make any money and he stays at this price. So plus 187, 400, 472, take 357, I think it's 200 for Mills. So that would leave me 115k. Then we get rid of Kako for like a 99k Tom McCarthy type. It makes us 117k plus 117000 equals. That would give me 232k to spend where I want. So we would have Mills here. We've got Keeler here. So Johnson, we've got 232. And we can't really get anyone that we want. 232, does that... Yeah, only makes 330, so I couldn't jump on a late 450 Doherty or McKercher. It's too late. And that's with doing 2 trades next week, which leaves me at 6 trades. So that would be our team. Our team would be pretty much locked as Dale, Whitfield, Zorko, Sheasel, Roberts, Mills, with Clark on the bench, hopefully holding me. Bont, Brayshaw, Sinclair, Butters, Rao, Dacos, Cadwell, rookie. Sherry, Gawn, Smith, Petrarca, Warner, Rankin, Daniel. We're stuck with him too. We're stuck with him. Yeah, we can't even afford. So then we're stuck with 2 rookies. I really only want to have 1 rookie who, you know, on the field. I can live with 22 primos and mid prices, but if Zach Johnson is subbed at half time for 30, it's a disaster. And then I have to depend on, you know, him. I have to depend on both of these guys instead of just one of these guys. And 230 plus 165 isn't enough to get a Darcy in a couple of weeks at only, like, you know, a 1 trade, 1 up type of thing. So I think, even though I think this is safer, and how much money would he go up? We said he's going to go up about 220, 430. Maybe we can get a Darcy in a couple of weeks. We live with this for 2 weeks, and then we get a Darcy here at 400, and that's the team. Darcy fills out the forward line. We live with 1 rookie on the bench here, and with probably maybe only being able to upgrade him in the last few rounds. Ooh. I don't know, because then I'm just getting rid of, again, I'm just putting another rookie on the field. I prefer to have a mid-pricer risky on the field than have the rookie on the field that is just can be dropped at any time. At least we know McKercher and Doherty aren't getting dropped. Well, Doherty maybe, but McKercher's not getting dropped. So they're playing. They're not going to be the sub. They're going to play. It's all just a matter about what position they play. I'm taking the risk on the position. Whereas a rookie, I'm taking a risk on them scoring a shit-house score and getting dropped and being a 0. See, I'm actually thinking the other way, Mikey. I'm trading Marshall before Gawn. I'm not trading Gawn. See, this is what else we did. So this is the plan just before, right, mate? The plan before we did this was not to get Kiefer and to get Marshall out. Who do we get? Let's undo them again. So I'm not doing Gawn because Gawn's a guaranteed captain choice. Yes, he gets me more money, but getting rid of Marshall does the same thing. I don't want Marshall as my R2. I don't like it. Marshall's been dropping too many. He's too up and down. He's been dropping too many shit scores. So this is what I'm probably going to do. I'm probably going to get rid of Marshall, and I'm probably going to get McKercher. Ooh, that's not where I write McKercher. I write McKercher up here. I think I'm just going to go, as we said, risky business. I think I'm going to rename this, the thumbnail for this, to risky business. We're going to get Kobe in the flex. It provides me with, I hate Marshall being there in the flex, not because I hate Marshall as a player, but because he's just blocking everything up. Then we get rid of Green, we sub forward Ashcroft, and we get in Zach Butters. Not Butters, the other Zach. Cheapo. Zach Moneymaker Zach. The Moneymaker. Get in Zach. Complete trade. Then, I think we just go Lindsay straight out for Doc as well. Go full risky business. That gives me 382k in the bank, which allows me to get up to Mills, and it also allows me with a downgrade to get Ashcroft up to somebody who I want as well. And then the team looks like, when we come out of the buys, it looks like so that way it gives me the most rookies off the field. We have Mills here, backline's finished. Here we have the one rookie here. Don't like that, Supercoach? Having a little hissy fit, are we, Supercoach? There we go. Oh, yep. Took us time the second time. Waited for me to do it a second time, then tricked me. Complete here, and so by getting rid of Marshall, complete. Here we've got the week after. We should still have right around 100 and enough to go either up with Ashcroft to like a Butters, get him back in the midfield and go a Butters, or a 550k Primo and have a rookie here before his buy, or potentially, so, and then have one rookie. So I think this way, super risky as it is, it literally, after next week, it only leaves me the one rookie. I have 22 Primo and we'll call and value players on the field who should play the game and shouldn't get subbed out and shouldn't get dropped. Then I just have to kind of hope with injury. So I'm not bringing in anyone on the round 16 bye. Ashcroft, I either keep him and ride the zero if I have to do it in 16, or potentially go up. I mean, if another rookie came along, I could go down. I could even go from him to McCarthy if McCarthy's playing, and get him to play for that round and then spend the money after the round. The Ashcroft, I'm keeping, even if I had to keep Ashcroft through that round, if I could field 18, great. If I have to field 17 and lose my league match, if I had to drop a stinker in that 16, what difference is it going to be? I've already dropped a couple of stinkers in a row during the buys already. So, Mikey, I would say, for me, I'm never dropping Gawn. I'm just because the captain side of it. If he wasn't a full-on captain choice every week, I would consider it. But having this lock and load captain is what got me to 2,500, and it could. Most people are going to have this going in the end of the year, but I think those people that can't afford a Gawn or a Cherry, or those people who trade out of him this week for the value, might miss a big captain score on the run home, and that way I could catch up with them then. I'm definitely, if I'm doing that move, I'm doing it with Marshall, not with Gawn. But the people who are doing it with Gawn, I understand, but I don't advise it. It's just the captain side of it is too much. Like we said before, if you're doing it with Neil or Merritt or even Zorko, if you're going them down to these value options of Doherty or McKercher or whoever, 100% behind it. I understand. You know, I'm doing the same thing with Marshall. But Gawn, I don't think Gawn is the one to do it with. I know he makes the most money, but I also think he's the most consistent. Like, Zorko can smash out at 60. Neil can smash out at 60. Merritt can smash out at 60. Can Gawn smash out at 60? You know, not without getting injured. I don't think he began out with injured. Let's have a look at the dumpster fire that will be round 16. 1, 2, 3. Preferably, if we're getting Mills for Gray, we might have 4, 5. This is a maybe, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Probably not. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If I'm lucky, 19. So round 16 for me is did I get rid of him? 19, did we get rid of him? 1, 2, let's not count Carroll. Let's assume Carroll's not going to be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's going to be Mills. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Maybe not 18, but I can always get 18 here. So if Ashcroft, Sims, and Clark and Carroll will play, it's 20. If Carroll gets dropped, likely 19. Sims doesn't play, 18. Don't get rid of Ashcroft, 17. If that came to the case, I think we would just trade Ashcroft anyway. We would just be like, okay, we're going to do it. Or we could just save the trades and push for leagues. Save the trades, push for leagues, and go, we'll take the 17. It will hurt when we look at our overall ranking, and, you know, you guys are going to be laughing at me, but, you know, maybe I can win my leagues. The only problem is I've done a bit shit at my leagues I've lost every bye round so far. I've been predicted to win. I wasn't predicted to win last week and I lost. I went from 3rd and now we're in 7th. If I was to lose again this week, which is quite possible, the guy has a shitload of players coming back in, I could potentially drop out of the 8. I can potentially drop as low as 11th. And if I don't finish in the top 8, it's not worth, you know. I want to do one or the other, right? I either want to finish in the top 8 or I want to go up in scores. So I think getting these 2 mid prices helps me in my leagues too, as I might be able to get my team to 22 primo or primo / mid prices before they do. But that round 16 is probably going to be a loss. Like, I mean, it's not looking good. I've been very unlucky with the buys. I'm just being matched up with people's teams who happen to be good. Even though my team's been good, their team's been a little bit better. So if we look here, I mean, this guy, at the moment, until he adjusts his team, I'm predicted to, you know, win. But he's got to come back into this team. He has Erasmus, Jackson, Brayshaw, Buse, Smith, Nass, McRae, all these players to come back into his team. I mean, he's going to drop some of these others for him, but I mean, he's going to have a really good team, and he's probably going to have more primo types than me. It's going to be close. It only takes a few of my guys not to deliver, and it's going to be close this match. So I could definitely lose this one again, which is going to make me an angry camper. Okay, so Mikey, I'm going to go against the grain here as well. I'm going to tell you, so exactly what I think is McKercher, in that if he was to keep that role, I like him more, but I think he's less likely to keep his role. I think from what Carlton said and what Doherty said in that tweet, if Doherty plays, he plays that role. If he doesn't want to play that back role, they're going to put him back in the VFL so he can run around and have fun with the kids and the old men. He said he enjoyed it and he wanted to play that role, and the coach brought him in and he smashed it. Let's not forget, the last 2 weeks when he's played that role, he smashed it. Not this week, the week before, he was one of the best on the field for Carlton. Surely you leave him in that role. You don't go, oh, we're going to play him in the midfield again. Why would you do that? He wants to play that role. The coach had a chat with the coach, said, I want to play that role. Went back to VFL, proved he could play the role. Now they brought him back in. I think he's got that role. So I think he's safer for sure. I think McKercher potentially has more upside if he gets that role, but there's no guarantee he gets that role. You know, there's nothing that says he can't go back to the wing. There's nothing that says they don't give it to Zach Fisher for a little bit. Or, you know, I mean, who knows? Who knows is what it is. I really like, I think Doherty out of the cheap players is the safer of them. You only got to worry about Doherty being dropped, not about him losing his role. And considering how he's performed the last few weeks, I don't think he's getting dropped. McKercher, I don't think McKercher's getting dropped, but I think I can easily see him being put on a wing and scoring a 50 or a 60. The only advantage for me for doing this is he's got a 25. So even if he could do a Toby Green and get a 50 and a 50. But if he gets a 80 and a 80, and I have to burn the trades that I don't have, potentially I can go a straight swap from like a McKercher to a Horn Francis or a, he's only got to keep that role or get like a 70 plus for 2 weeks in a row, and he can become my Darcy. He can become my Horn Francis. He can become one of those players. Will it still leave me short on rookies? Yeah, it will. But if it pays off, I'll actually be able to, instead of doing, if it doesn't pay off, I'm going to be short and I'm going to have more rookies on the field than I want. If it pays off, I get to take up a rookie. I got 22 sub-primo and sub-primos. So that's my thinking, but I'm going to say Doherty over McKercher. I've been going with the pack a little bit. We went Bont. Everyone's going Butters this week. I'm going to say two things which are going to be very unpopular this week. Butters is not a must-have this week. I'm not saying he's not a must-have by the end of the season. I'm saying he's not a must-have this week. You can afford to have a look at him this week. You can afford to see if he gets the Harvey Langford tag. You can afford to and he's not going to go up too much. And Doherty, I'm saying, is over McKercher. I think the role is set for him. Do I think he has as much upside? No. Do I think he's a safer pick? Yes. Well, I still don't really know, Paris. I've changed from yesterday to last night to this morning to now we had a look at Keeler. Keeler wasn't even on the radar until we did the stream today. I honestly wish we hadn't have burnt that Toby Green. This is nothing to you. I'm a big boy. I can make my decisions. Not the Toby Green. Sorry. The boost that I did to get in Tom Gross when he got subbed out could be the biggest mistake in my league. Because if I could boost this week, I would be getting in like Keeler for an Ashcroft or something like that. I'd be banking some money with that rookie. He looks fairly reliable. And then I'd be banking that extra money and I'd be doing it next week. He looked great. He playing this defender role the last 2 weeks. I think he's a 50 to 70 player. Ross Lyon is the problem, but he's less of a problem than a Chris Scott or a Minnie McWalter or whatever. And the good thing is he's not named on the interchange. He's named in that spot. Is there anybody coming back? Let's have a look at from St Kilda that could take his spot. Injury list. Do St Kilda have anybody coming back who can take his spot in the next 2 weeks? Because I think you only need him to play for 2 weeks. Zane Cordy 4 weeks, I know. Paddy Dow, knee 1 week. McRae, does McRae coming back this week influencing? No. Dougal Howard, defender, could potentially influence him in 2 weeks. Max King out, Philippou out. So, Cordy and Howard, they're both defenders, right? So they could come back. But it looks like you got 2 to 3 weeks at least. Mikey, I'm telling you right now, he's not going in the middle. If he plays, he's not going in the middle. He's a backman. And if you look at his VFL scores and his scores they're not that great. So the wishful thinking, he takes over the Marek / Tyrell, who's playing that role, kick-in role, at best. I don't even know if he goes straight in the team, Mikey. I honestly think putting him straight in the team is a little bit unfair. As an Eagles supporter, I think Clay Hall and Tom Gross should get another go before he does. I mean, it's not like we're going to make the 8, play the kids. I mean, he's not a kid. He's obviously got a bigger body and everything. But, dropping... That's why it really pissed me off when I did if he wasn't already pissing me off, Minnie McWalter, when I did the boost and got Tom Gross in, he was named on the field, in the centre, on the wing, but in the centre, and he played him as a small forward, which really pissed me off because he got like an 8 at half time. Tom Gross is not a small forward, he's an inside midfielder, and he looked really good when they played him for a quarter as inside midfielder. He played as a pocket, in the pocket, got fuck all points. They dropped, and so he got dropped. He got subbed and then he got dropped and they're not bringing him back. Totally unfair to the kid. I mean, give him a go in the midfield. Give him a full game in the midfield, see what he can do. It's like, this Minnie's been doing this all year. He's throwing people around in not the right positions. He's been dropping them after, not playing the right position. Yes, he's a young kid, and yes, he might struggle to play the full game, but at least give him a go. Play him in the midfield, and then if 3/4 time, if he's gassed out or he's getting killed in the midfield, sub him off. Okay, sub him off, but at least give him a go. So, I mean, I don't even know if McCarthy comes straight in the team. I wouldn't be surprised if he's named this week. I mean, usually in years past, when it hasn't been Minnie McWalter, we did name Marek, I think a couple of weeks after it came in. I think they named Hutchins when we got him in the mid-season draft a couple of weeks after it came and got him in. I want them to name him because it's going to help me Supercoach wise. But, I just don't know if he will. Oh, by the way, crew, for the people, I'm trying to get up to 300 subs before the end of the year. So if you haven't subbed already and you can sub, that would help me out a lot. We're at about 230 something now. So anyone that subs can help me out a lot. So if you're watching now and sub, that's the mission, up to 300. Doesn't cost you anything. Just click that button down, down there somewhere. The big subscribe button. And you don't even have to leave the page. Just click that subscribe button. That's going to help me out. Try and get to 300 subs. And you might as well like and comment on the video too if you haven't already. And that would also help me out. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate you guys being here and chatting to me. Trying to help me with my trades. I think sometimes you guys help me more than I help you. But appreciate you guys. And if you can do that for me, that would help a lot. A couple of people already liked already, so if that was either of you guys, I really appreciate it, or any of the people on, I really appreciate it. So as an Eagles supporter, I honestly think the other kids deserve a proper go before he does. But Minnie McWalter, I don't trust him as far as I throw him. And I would, Mikey, I almost, again, my second guarantee, this is almost a guarantee that if McCarthy does play, he probably will be the sub. He'll either be subbed out or, or start as a sub. I heard some other content creators saying today that one of the worst things about the sub rule is that if you're a young kid, you get your debut and you're debuted as a sub. That must suck. That must suck. You know what? Mate, you've been, hey, you're my parents, come over, come over from Victoria and watch, I've been named, like, in the team. Oh, well, I'm sub, I came on in the fourth quarter. Here's your jumper, get the sub. Like, hate the sub rule. Get rid of the sub rule. We should start a petition. Wonder if we could get 180,000 Supercoach players to send a petition to the AFL to get rid of the sub rule. Yeah, it's very, very risky. Mikey, I'm saying if you're getting McCarthy in, purely money. You're not getting him in because you think he's going to play and make money. You're getting him in because he's 99k and you don't give a shit whether you've got a dead rookie on the field or not. That's how you have to take Minnie. That's how you got to do it. If you're getting him in, I'd much prefer you get him in for like a Tom Gross or somebody who's not already playing, or a Huswaite. I think you got to keep Sard now. It says Sard can come back in round 18. I think if you've got him, you just keep him now. Keep him through the buys, use him as a swap. If McCarthy does play, or if he doesn't play, him and Sard, I mean, you could swap him out for Sard because he's got that same defend of mid status, or you could do like Gray out for him, and then you've got both of them where when they come back, if they both play, how good would that be? Coming to the end of the season, if they play him, like for Supercoach, I hope they play him. As for an Eagles supporter, I think it's a bit rough if they play him over some of the other players who are on our list who deserve a chance. But at Supercoach wise, if I've got him instead of Gray, being able to swap them both and they're both playing to get a rookie on the field wherever I needed to cover an injury or a laid out or something, that's going to be awesome. So I really hope they do play him, and I'm hoping that when we click on the teams tonight that we see him there. Like I said, Eagles supporter, we're going to finish last anyway. Just get that draft pick. Just get that draft pick before Tasmania comes, because after Tasmania comes, there ain't going to be any good draft picks for a while. So this year, if you're going to finish last, this is the year to do it. Do it before Tasmania come in. Get that number one draft pick again and see what we can do with it. But yeah, I'm not a big Mini fan so far as an Eagles supporter, and I really don't think he's given the team or the kids the best opportunity to win. And that's enough about the Eagles. Nobody gives a shit about the Eagles except for me and the other Eagles supporters. So nobody can give a shit about Eagles this year. And honestly, I love my team and I'll always support them. I don't care how badly or well that they're doing, but thank God we play for Supercoach because it gives me something else to look forward to. Because I certainly don't look forward to watching the Eagles games each week because it's pretty rough. It's good. They should have won almost last week. I don't know about you guys. They kicked 20 million points in the first quarter. If they had to kick 2 or 3 goals, they would have been ahead and they would have won. So that I literally didn't think, after the first few weeks, I didn't think they'd win a game all season. They beat St Kilda, which I thought was a miracle. Praise the gods! The Eagles won a game, and then they almost won another game against North Melbourne in Mandurah after making them travel. At last, a Victorian team cops it on what it's like to travel to another city and then travel again. Not that Mandurah's that far away, but it's like the Eagles going to Victoria and then having to go to Tasmania as well. Again, praise the Lord, Eagles and all Freo don't have to go to Tasmania this year. Let's see some of these other fucking teams have to go to Tasmania. And when Tasmania come into the comp, good. Even though, I have to say, this whole North selling the games to WA or whatever, awesome. Maybe Gold Coast should think about selling some of their games to WA or whatever. That way we get to play more home games. It should be a Victorian team. So any Victorian team not making money should almost have to sell their games to like WA. They come over here. We don't have to travel as much. Maybe 1 for the Eagles or 2 for the Eagles and 2 for Freo. Fair up the fixture a little bit. Would make the fixture a lot more fairer. Obviously, they're never gonna make Collingwood or Carlton do that. But maybe the Western Bulldogs, I don't know, the Western Bulldogs still leaking money, do they? After I know people from Queensland are still pissed off that the Fitzroy is now up there in Queensland, but maybe the Western Bulldogs, Fitzroy, and maybe who knows? Anyway, that's enough. That's enough about the Eagles. I know you guys don't want to hear about the Eagles. Does anybody, do we want to do anything else? Do we want to call that? I think we'll call it that for the day, right? Don't forget to do that, subscribe and everything. Thank you so much, Paris and Mikey, for being here. Thank you, Donut Man. Thank you, anybody else that's watching and hasn't had the time. Oh, Aiden, thank you very much for being here, crew. Really appreciate you guys hanging out. Oh, Coverts! Hello, Coverts. This is not MSF. This is something I actually like. This is actually something I enjoy. Thank you for dropping by, Coverts. We're just about to go out. This is Australian rules football, fantasy football, and this is what Seano is passionate about and likes doing videos about now. No more. We quit MSF. Yeah, I hope you have a good score too, mate. I'm sure I hope you do better than me. I got to worry that it's probably not going to be that great for me, but we're going to. Actually, just before we go, let's set up the team for this week. How have you been, Cobbage? You been good? Nice to see Shane back, even if I'm not back streaming MSF. That's nice to see Shane back. Nice to see Obi Dabs is potentially going to be the man. So I probably won't go live again until next week, either Wednesday or Thursday. Keep an eye out for my review video. I'll probably get it out Sunday night, Monday morning for you guys, early Monday morning. And the trade video will come out Monday or Tuesday. And then I'll go live probably in next week. It's more likely to be in the evening on a Wednesday or a Thursday and potentially even a Tuesday. It'll be later on the week next week. Traded the Aussie for a Brit. Shane's better than me anyway. So Mikey, that's when I'll be back on. If you want to click the notification bell, that'll tell you when I'm on. I never really tell people to click the notification bell, but if you want to know when I go live, that'll tell you. But yeah, most likely it'll be late next week, probably a Wednesday or a Thursday, with a mild, well, it will be like the weatherman, with a chance of a sprinkling of a Seano on a Tuesday. Guaranteed showers on either Wednesday or Thursday though. Guaranteed Seano thunderstorms on probably Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good time to go. The mailman has just arrived. So please like, subscribe and give me a sub. All you guys have a great day and I will talk to you very soon. Seano's got to go get the mail. I'll talk to you all soon. See you later.